When I was first starting on my journey in leadership, I was quite young. I had been a lawyer in private practice. I had really never led people before. I was going to be the general counsel of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. And I met with my mentor, Judge Ken Starr, and I was quite worried about whether people would be loyal. Would they work with me to achieve things? And Judge Starr said to me, Alex, you have to ask yourself a question. Do you want them to want you to succeed, or do you want them to want you to fail and act accordingly? That has become my leadership mantra in every job I've ever had, which is to treat the teams that I've been privileged to lead as a partnership, give trust, get trust. And I've almost always found that to be rewarded in spades. I'm Alex Azar, member of the Board of Trustees of the Aspen Institute and the former U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services. I'd like to talk about the 3 lessons in leadership that I've learned through my business and government career through the lens of a crisis. As you may remember, in January 2020, the country started facing the COVID pandemic. And I met with my team, and we decided that we had to completely change the paradigm of drug development, commercialization, and manufacturing if we were going to be able to get vaccines in time to help pull this country and the world out of the COVID pandemic. This was the genesis of Operation Warp Speed. To do this, which everyone thought was impossible, to create the largest public-private biomedical partnership in world history to deliver a vaccine faster than ever done before in world history, I applied a framework that I have used based on 3 leadership lessons: alignment, execution, and resilience. Alignment means making sure that everybody in an organization is rowing in the same direction. It's built on the pillars of mission, vision, strategy, execution, on a foundation of shared values. What is mission? Mission is why we exist, why the world would be worse off if we weren't there. It's the why. The vision is the what. It's what we want the organization to be in, say, 3 to 5 years if we achieve our objectives. The strategy is how we get there. The execution is how do we achieve each of those strategic elements. A book that I wish I had read much earlier in my career is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. The second habit of highly effective people says, begin with the end in mind. In other words, you need to know where you're going if you want to get there. If you get into a car in Maryland and don't know that you want to get to California, the odds that you will get to California are quite low. Jim Collins, the famous business author in Good to Great, talks about a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal, a compelling goal that motivates a team to achieve what it doesn't think is possible. When you have alignment of mission, vision, strategy, execution, and common shared values, everybody is working together towards that goal, and they subsume their personal interest in the interest of that higher objective if they have bought into that. When I created Operation Warp Speed, I worked with the team to develop our big, hairy, audacious goal. The goal was that we would deliver FDA-authorized vaccines and enough vaccine for all Americans by the first quarter of 2021. There are many frameworks that one can use. I have used one called the 4 Disciplines of Execution as a way to motivate teams and deliver accountability within an organization. It doesn't really matter which methodology that you use. It's just you must have a methodology. You cannot simply declare an aligned goal and assume that an organization will get there. So if we have alignment of mission, vision, strategy, execution, common values, if we have an execution framework that harnesses the energy of our team towards achieving those goals, we've gotten a long way. I say I like to build a team that's like the Marine Corps, that has the confidence that no matter what beach you put them on, they know they can take it. The other thing we had to do was make sure our team felt safe. We had recruited some of the finest talent from around the world to lead Operation Warp Speed. But the problem was some of those individuals who gave up everything to help their fellow man, they got attacked. And that team needed to know that I, the president, others were there to protect them. In addition, I had to make sure that I protected that team from political interference, from bureaucracy, so that they could make decisions without always looking over their shoulder. We've talked about two elements of resilience so far. The first is building a team of winners. The second is protecting your team. The third is autonomy. A team gains confidence by knowing that you have delegated to them, that they have the authority to make decisions, to drive forward, to not look over their shoulders all the time. So delegating to a strong team with governance structures above that provide oversight, enable the team with resources, and that clears barriers for the team, but doesn't try to do their job for them. The fourth is a concept of mastery. I like to think of any job as one where one is never perfect in it. One is always striving to get better. And I think when we inspire our teams to think of what they're doing as a quest for personal mastery, we make them stronger, it makes them feel like winners, and it builds their commitment to this golden thread that we've built of an aligned organization with an execution framework to be able to achieve it, and a resilient team that has the confidence they will actually get there. And so those are my 3 lessons in leadership.